time. All right, new record. 8.2, people power. This is an excellent lab. I actually did this lab when we first came back from COVID, and it was a good way to get our students engaged, moving, active, collecting lots of good data. And it kind of reviews a lot of good stuff. So the main idea behind this is you're looking at work and you're looking at power. Work is only based off of the force and the distance traveled. So when you have students doing this lab, they're going to be running up a flight of stairs. So your work is based off the distance. Everyone's going to have the same distance traveled, but the force is based off your weight. So actually the people who do the most work weigh the most. But when you calculate the power is both based off of the work as well as how quickly you do that work. So what I challenged my students to this lab is I was actually one of the participants, and I said, see who can have the most power than me. And so they either had to have more work, so way more, and then complete it in a good enough time, or they had to be fast enough to overcome, I might be way more than them. I never lost. I always had the most power. So that could be a challenge that you issue out to your students. But basically you'll get a bunch of students. You'll need to get their weights. You can either have a Newton scale. If you don't have that, there is a conversion. So just get a normal scale, multiply whatever the pounds is by 4.448. And that now is in newtons, and I don't think people care that much about what their weight is in newtons. Then you got your stair height. The way we found that was just measure the height of one step and then counted the number of steps and multiplied. So you don't have to do that long multimeter stick trying to figure out the height. And then you're gonna get 3 times for each person. We did that all at once, so I just had multiple students with stopwatches. So that way we got the 3 times, and then we could find the average later. I would encourage having at least 5 students have a stopwatch, because sometimes they forget to start it or they don't stop it right. So if you have more people, you'll probably have at least 3 people with good times to find your average. So I sent students out there with clipboards for the data collection, and then we came back and then they worked through what's their work, what's their power using the calculations, and then they got analysis questions. So pretty straightforward, easy lab, but it gets the students out of the classroom collecting data. You're reviewing how to find an average, you're doing the work and power equations. So great lab overall. I'm off to go do some more steps. Adios.